Okay, so this is our patrons only Halloween episode, and we watch and review movies on these, and we're going to watch and review Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman from 1943, and it stars
once before I was born. It's Bela Lugosi.
Well, yeah, it's got Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr. And, I'm assuming Chaney's the Wolfman, but who the hell is Lugosi playing? Is he the monster? He's
playing Frankenstein. Yeah, the monster. The monster.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah,
that's going to be strange to see.
And actually, Lon Chaney Jr. was supposed to play the Wolfman and the monster, and then they decided that it was just going to be too demanding for him to be, because both of them are makeup heavy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So then they got Bela Lugosi to play the monster, and I'll tell more of that trivia as we go. But Rick, before we started, you were about to tell us.
Well, Jenna just said that she has never seen this movie, and I honestly don't know if I have, because when I was a kid, my folks would go visit their friends, and of course, you know, as a 2, 3, or 4 or 5, whatever year old, growing up in the 70s was a very different time.
To put it mildly, yeah.
And kids were basically luggage that you couldn't leave home up to a point. I mean, I was a latchkey kid and all that, so I'm not going to go into that. But, you know, I remember being at people's houses while my parents were doing whatever, you know, being plopped down in front of a TV and watching creature features.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every local TV station had some version of the creature feature, and some of them had some sort of whimsical character. I mean, that's where Elvira got her start.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, she was a local TV creature feature host.
And Grandpa Munster used to do it too. After the Munsters, he made a living doing that on local television. Yeah.
I think, you know, when there was one called Svengoolie that I think I saw. But anyway, you know,
yeah, Svengoolie's still going, actually.
I thought he died a couple of years ago.
No, he's still around.
Joe Bob, you remember Joe Bob?
Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, he's still doing it too. He's doing it online now.
Yeah, he started in the 80s, and you know, I'm talking back in, you know, long time ago. So I saw the Wolfman, I saw Frankenstein, I saw the Invisible Man. And the Invisible Man scared the crap out of me. There's one scene in the Invisible Man. Now we did the Invisible Man a couple of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's this scene where he's got like this dude tied up in a car, and he's getting ready to push the car over the cliff, and he's telling the guy what's going to happen, how he's going to die as the car goes over the cliff. And that scene just haunted me.
Yeah.
You know, because he was so cold about it. That, you know, Invisible Man is a you know, I said at the time, it's the first slasher movie.
Yeah.
Because he just, you know, he was just a dude who was what? Good night. You know, he was just a guy, but because he was invisible and it made him psychotic, he was just going around killing people in horrible ways.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I honestly can't say whether I've seen this movie or not. I won't know until we're watching it. And if at some point there's a scene where I'm like, oh, I did see
that. I don't think I've seen this one. I have seen a lot of the Universal monster movies. Mm-hmm. I've said on the show before that when I was a teenager, they used to show monster movies on the classic movie channel, like Turner Classic Movies or something. On Saturday nights, they would show monster movies. They would show old sci-fi movies and monster movies. So that's where I saw a lot of stuff like King Kong for the first time. And I saw Frankenstein for the first time. Frankenstein had actually had a sequel by the time this was made. There was a sequel called The Ghost of Frankenstein, which will actually come into play as we're talking about the movie, some decisions that they made in making this movie. This is the sequel to the Wolfman. The only Wolfman movie that had come out before this is the first Wolfman. So, and we covered it on the show a while back. So you can go back to one of our Halloween episodes from a couple of years ago if you want to hear us talk about that. But
now that is a movie that both Frankenstein and the Wolfman really hold up. I don't think the original Dracula really does.
Oh, I love the original Dracula.
I love it, but it's just the ending is so weird and abrupt.
It's the same as the play. It's the exact same as the
no.
play.
It was Hays Code that did that. It was because the ending had to be changed because of Hays Code. And the original ending was lost. So
that's right.
So the ending is chopped off. So basically, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and start the movie. If you want to watch along with us, because I'm not gonna put the video on YouTube because Universal will just have it taken down. None of the Universal stuff is on YouTube other than just clips and scenes and stuff. So if I put this on YouTube with the video on it, it'll get taken down. So you can watch it along with us. It's available right now to watch for free on Peacock. Other than that, I think you can rent it on YouTube for a couple of dollars or something like that. But I've got the movie set right now at 0 minutes and 0 seconds. I'm going to count down from 3 and then we'll hit play. I'll say 3, 2, 1, play, and then we'll hit play.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Got it.
My volume.
The old Universal logo. Love it.
Yeah, the old Universal logo.
Universal presents
a test
a
tube
vial
with lots of smoke.
Toxic chemical.
It's a cooking show. Cooking with science.
Frankenstein
meets the Wolfman. Like how they used to put copyright and then
starring
Roman
people we don't
know at the bottom. I never understood why they did that. Put the year in Roman numerals at the bottom of the screen and everything.
It was the way of things back then.
This is the way.
Lon Chaney as the Wolfman.
Kurt Siod. That name's familiar. I think he was like.
This is back in the day when they used to put all the credits at the beginning of the film.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because when the movie was over, people just got up and left, which they still do that, but they actually wanted you to see the credits back then. But now the
Directors Guild required it.
Well, contractually now you have to give a credit to so many people that worked on the movie that your credits last for 8, 9, 10 minutes.
Well, there's also hundreds of thousands of people who make movies now,
especially the ones that there's a lot of CGI.
Who rest the dead of
Langwillier or something.
And suddenly 2 people show up.
And the requisite gravedigger scene.
Yeah, these are grave robbers.
Now, I love the original Frankenstein. It is, it is nothing like the book. If you've ever read Frankenstein, they have never done a cinematic version that's anything like the book. But I think Penny Dreadful came close.
Penny Dreadful got close.
The modern Prometheus.
It still kind of veered very far away from it. But I still love the original Frankenstein. The dude that played Frankenstein, I wish I could remember his name, but he just so utterly committed to the part and was so unhinged.
It's alive! It's alive! Yeah, he was great.
Talbot, that's the name of the Wolfman. Talbot.
Larry Talbot.
Even a man who is pure at heart and says his prayers by night can become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is full and bright. I love this old stuff. I
do too. Live for it. I've seen King Kong, the original, like more times than I can count.
You know what's the best part of this stuff is when you only saw it on TV as a kid,
right?
And then you see like this, and you find out how much was edited out of what was put on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Like the scene where Kong eats the woman, where he just grabs her out of her apartment and chomps down on her. I never saw that until I finally bought the movie.
Yeah, because it was too graphic.
And this movie is only an hour and 10 minutes long, so to edit it for television, they wouldn't have had to edit out much.
No,
but
he still did.
Oh yeah, Martin Talbot, Elizabeth Talbot.
Now, that guy with the mustache, he looks familiar.
So if you remember, the Wolfman was killed at the end of his movie. He was hit in the head with a cane or something. Like his father
who
killed
died
him, right?
at the youthful age of 31. R.I.P.
And that's the worst British accent I've ever heard.
Yeah, well.
They used to do this thing in these old movies, and they did it on the Twilight Zone a lot, where they had an actor that was obviously 50 years old, and they would say, "Oh yeah, he's 30."
Well,
they still do that. Come on.
Look at any movie that takes place in a high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have people now who are in their like late 20s playing teenagers.
Are there subtitles on this thing? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. This reminds me of some H.P. Lovecraft stories.
Which one?
Oh, I can't remember the name.
At least you might remember to take the lamp off before he threw the
Wolfbane all over it.
Is the Wolfbane supposed to keep him dead?
Supposed to keep him in the tomb.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be a.
Oh yeah, just pull that on out of there. That's great.
Well, that's what they used to do in the old Dracula movies. They'd open the coffin and pull the stake out of his heart, and he'd come back to life.
That's what kept Christopher Lee in business for years.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a quote.
Become a wolf when the Wolfbane blooms.
Like tonight.
Yeah.
You guys picked the wrong night to break into this crypt. Someone did his nails.
They needed the moon. Yeah, he's got long fingernails. Now he's supposed to have been dead for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks well preserved for sure.
Yeah.
This must be their first grave robbing. I have a friend who was a grave digger for a while, and he told me that every now and then, you think maybe a little more panic might be involved?
This dead man.
There goes the lantern.
Oh,
and now the stone crypt bursts into flame.
Well, it landed right on that dried up wolfsbane that they threw on the ground. So
he's
obviously it's got to burn down the entire stone structure.
So my friend said that, people are insane when it comes to dealing with the remains of their dead relatives, and especially people with more money than sense. Yeah. And there were times when they had to dig up because somebody decided Uncle Barney needed a new coffin, and they would have to dig up a grave.
Oh my God.
And dump what was left into the new coffin from the old coffin, and then they'd have to burn their clothes afterwards.
I can believe it.
I can't imagine.
Why is a dead person going to care?
He needs to have his pillow turned.
Larry, I found a dead guy that I recognize.
Queen's Hospital.
Well, if they're taking him to a hospital, he's technically breathing.
I forget this is supposed to take place. No, this is supposed to be like in England somewhere or something.
It's very England, isn't it?
Even though Talbot is, Lon Chaney Jr. is not British in any way.
No. Well, neither is Bela Lugosi.
No. Well, I don't think he's going to be speaking.
You ever heard the story of, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff were friends for life. And when Lugosi died, because they were known to like play practical jokes on each other throughout most of their lives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And at Lugosi's wake, it was said that Karloff went up to the coffin and leaned over and said, "Bella, if you're messing with me, I will fucking kill you."
I think I've heard that before, yeah. Because he was buried in his Dracula cave.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't get Boris Karloff for this movie. Was he just too old to do it by now or something?
Probably didn't want to. No, he was in.
He turned it down
at the peak of their.
Yeah. It was either he turned it down or Lagosha did it to get back at. It was something rivalry because they were also rivals for a while as far as doing films. Yeah, it's not as bitch.
Well, remember when we watched The Wolfman, he was English, but he had spent 20 years in America trying to avoid his responsibilities or something.
Right.
So there was a reason why he didn't have an accent.
Which they took into account with the remake that came out a few years ago.
It was more than a few years ago, and it was awful.
I didn't say it was a good remake. I just said it was a remake.
Is was it Del Toro that did that? No.
Who did it may have starred.
It was starred Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro, yeah, he was in.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I really remember it. No one will be admitted during the exciting bicycle tire inflation scene.
We got to keep these bikes. We got to keep the maintenance up on these bikes.
The Wolfman remake was the first movie I ever streamed.
Oh, really?
Because we got our first HD TV and found out we could watch movies on demand. And so the first thing we watched was The Wolfman. And boy, were we sorry we did.
I will say the visual effects in it, like the transformation scenes, were really good. In fact, I believe Rick Baker got an Oscar for it.
No, he got did he? I don't know.
Yeah, he got an Oscar for
American Werewolf.
He also got an Oscar for this film.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess he probably was like, all right, whatever.
I wish Universal could figure out something to do with these characters, because they're good characters and they're good stories, and if they could do them right, it's not something that's going to be like the Marvel Cinematic Universe like they were trying to do with that Dark Universe or whatever.
Well, yeah, they tried it with that Mummy movie that came out and it didn't do well, unfortunately. I know, Rick, you love the film, but
I didn't love it. I just didn't think it was as bad as everyone made it.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
it was fun. And I don't know what people were expecting from this. It was the same with Van Helsing.
Which I adore Van Helsing.
I enjoyed it too, but I think the problem is that producers like to skip ahead a few steps and say, we're making this movie and it's going to be the linchpin of an entire series. And then when the movie doesn't make billions, they're like, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Van Helsing was fun. And I love Hugh Jackman anyway. But it was by no means a great movie, but none of these were. They weren't meant to be. These are B movies. They've always meant to be.
They were just, it was just entertainment. And
he's about to transform.
I did like the way that they did they showed the original movies, and then they would just, hey, let's just have these two monsters in a movie together.
Yeah.
Now let's have them meet Abbott and Costello.
Yeah. But everything's got to be a blockbuster now. And
this is the old transformations that they did. They just fade in and out with.
Yeah, which for the time, this was state of the art. And poor Cheney had to sit there for hours and not move.
I saw
for the time, it was.
I saw Halloween Mask at the store the other day. I'm going to try and go back and get it because it's a mask of this Wolfman.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to get it and put it on just like a mannequin head and set it on my dresser or something.
Now I was listening to, our friend Boz was on a podcast recently where they were talking about American Werewolf in London, and they called it a cult classic.
Oh,
and I was like, you kidding me?
It is a cult classic.
It is
not.
But...
It's an honest to God cult classic. Indicates that the movie was bad and became
Well,
Except-
it
No,
also,
no, no.
it
That's not what
also-
cult classic. Cult classic
No.
just means that it got more of a following after its original run than it
Yeah,
did
yeah,
when
yeah.
it
And
first
it's
came out.
usually a movie that initially bombed that eventually.
But American
later
Werewolf
on-
did not originally bomb.
I like how he was hopping across those crates like he looked more like the were-monkey than he did the werewolf.
Well, there's an effect that they did for the film that Lon Chaney, I believe he was the one who suggested it, where when he's walking, he's actually walking on his toes like an actual dog.
Mhm.
He did that in the first one too.
Both him and his father were pioneers of special effects makeup.
Mm-hmm,
You know, his father, Lon Chaney, was the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And
which I also love that movie.
Yeah, you know, they both tortured themselves for their parts.
Oh yeah.
The safety regulations that exist now for prosthetic makeup did not exist then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of them had lead in the paint and a lot of.
That's why Buddy Ebsen almost died.
Oh yeah,
and didn't even get to be in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, because he was allergic to the paint.
The Cheneys did their own. They did it to themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a reason why these things are classics. There's a reason why, you know, almost 100 years later, we're still watching them.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, yeah, almost 100 years. When was this? 43?
This was 43. Yeah.
43. So that's
78 years. Yeah.
70. Yeah. 78. Oh my gosh.
And they also have not, you know, like we've been saying, they've tried to recapture this lightning and they don't get it. The people that do it just think, you know, oh, we'll just put this monster in there, and they don't realize, they don't go back and watch and appreciate the craft
and the story. Yeah.
You know, they just think, oh, it was the 40s. Nobody, you know, it was just the spectacle of the makeup. And it's like, no, they really put thought into the stories.
Right.
You know, one of my
computer graphics are impressive, but sometimes the practical effects are more effective.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. One of the things I didn't like about the Wolfman remake was like it became a lightsaber. Every time it attacked, it was like slashing limbs off and stuff, and it was like it got stupid.
Yeah.
But you know, these movies didn't rely on. You know, we you know, when he killed that cop, all you saw was him like bury his face in the dude's neck and then drag him off camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't rely on gore.
Right. It's what you didn't see that was more horrifying.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that gore doesn't have its place, but the people making the movies now don't get what made these things classics.
Yeah.
Actually, if you notice, especially in this one, I didn't catch it in the first Wolfman. If you look at his eyes, they actually have a line around him like he's already kind of wolfed out.
Is that the dude that played Lestrade in the Holmes movies?
I have no idea.
I haven't watched them in so long, I couldn't tell you.
I can pull up I've got IMDb up. I can look.
Well, he doesn't have a British accent either.
His name was Dennis Hoey.
Get you out.
I don't see any Sherlock Holmes titles.
He looks a lot like the dude that played Lestrade.
He made a lot of Terror by Night, Spider Woman, David and Bathsheba, those kinds of movies. Yeah. Oh no, Sherlock Holmes Faces Death. He was in that.
Okay.
He did play Lestrade in that movie. Okay.
Thank you very much. Now,
where's the science behind that?
That's what I was telling you. He doesn't have an accent.
Well, the thing is, back then, both the U.S. and England used
transatlantic.
the transatlantic
accent.
Well, it was the oh god damn it, I can't remember the name of the. There was like this established, it was like in the movies from the 40s and the 50s. All right, that's why I'm. They all talk like that because it was the established movie cadence, and the British had a version of that too.
There's an accent called the transatlantic accent that it was supposed to be a cross between an American accent and the British accent, and it only exists in films. Nobody in real life talks like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back to the graveyard with the one guy who survived.
With all these
the movie we watched where
cardboard
like,
styrofoam tombstones.
What was the movie we watched where there was like in the graveyard, then it wasn't, and then it wasn't, then it wasn't? Oh, it was the
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, Plan 9. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least this one makes sense when they go back to the graveyard.
And back then, all the cops have Irish accents. You notice?
These old movie graveyards, the graves are always turned every which way. Like most graveyards I've been to, most of the graves are in lines. They're usually pointed in the same direction.
Well, it makes
for the
it
most
look
part.
old,
Yeah.
So.
Like we just bury our people wherever we want.
That's a thick ass door.
Yeah.
Well, to keep the dead people from getting out, realize so, which didn't work. We figured that out by looking at him for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Really not a whole lot of blood there for a severed jugular.
Yeah,
right?
It should be rather messy.
Yeah, but Bela Lugosi's not playing that character in this movie.
That was one thing about this movie that I think that they were hoping audiences didn't notice, that the Wolfman took place 4 years before this, so 1939. But Frankenstein, when that movie that came out, it was filmed just 10 years before, but it took place back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And now they're supposed to be kind of a.
Well, they've pretty much
established. It wasn't a big thing back then.
Well, okay, they pretty much established in a lot of the lore that the monster can't die.
Well, that's part of the behind the scenes stuff for this movie, is that the monster in this is technically not the same monster from the first Frankenstein. They made a movie called Ghost of Frankenstein, and they transplanted the brain. It's the same monster's body, but it's actually Igor's brain inside his head. And he had
Igor's
lines.
His name was Fritz, wasn't it?
Huh?
This
was the ghost. This was the second movie, so I don't know. He had lines. He talked, but then they showed the movie to test audiences, and they all laughed at Bela Lugosi doing the lines, so they muted all of them, and they made him just not talk. So he doesn't talk in this movie. There are a couple of scenes where he's going to be moving his mouth, but he's not talking.
Yes, he just said that.
Hospital? What is it?
It's a building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Why is he repeating everything he says? What do you mean with his teeth?
This is one of the reasons why I love Young Frankenstein so much, because
yes,
Mel Brooks, Young Frankenstein. I mean, granted, Gene Wilder wrote Young Frankenstein, but Brooks directed it, and it is, in my opinion, the best comedy movie ever made. And I think it should be used as a textbook in like filmmaking classes. But he so perfectly spoofed this genre of film.
Yep. Frau Blucher. He was my boyfriend. Yeah. Speaking of frog look.
Is that the same old lady from the other movie?
I don't know.
I know it's supposed to be her, but
I know it's supposed to be her. Yeah, but I can't.
Looks like her.
And there's no fat on these movies. There's no wasted scenes.
Everything that's why the whole thing. That's why it's like an hour and 10 minutes. They just get in there, tell the story, and get out.
Yep. Yeah, the pentagram that they never show on screen.
Yeah, it's the same woman. Yeah, she played the same character in the Wolfman.
Why does she have a conch shell hanging up there?
Yeah,
because it's exotic.
Bela.
Hey, that's a good shot. Cinematically, that's a good shot right there.
Yeah, the diopter lens didn't exist yet. That was
yeah.
I'll be right back.
He will murder you.
There's a lot of gypsies in this. Sorry about the derogatory term. There's a lot of Romany in these films.
Yeah. Look how when they ride at night and everything is still just perfectly lit.
Well, remember that's a backdrop of
you can see the road just fine. Nope. You don't have headlights or anything like that.
And you can totally tell it's a print, it's a matte print behind,
and
everything.
They just zooming in on a picture there. Ooh, mud. Well, where did it go? He was just looking at a village down in a valley.
Now they're in the trees.
They're out in the middle of the woods.
Oh. We're asking for directions. Yes.
Gaslights.
Yep.
By the way, folks, if you're listening, which I guess you are because we're doing this, so you can hear me, you're listening. It's important that people understand that gypsy is...
I just mentioned that gypsy is a derogatory term. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's why I corrected myself and said Romany people in these movies.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I wish my mustache would do that.
I know. I was like, that's a pretty nice mustache.
My mustache, I can grow it out, but like one side curls up and the other side curls down. Godzilla stat.
It's like a Harry Mudd mustache. It's
I recognize him from somewhere.
Something they learned, or unfortunately too late, was that water and fire don't scale. You can't just build a miniature set and then run water through it, because it just looks, it ruins the effect.
Yeah.
And it's the same with flames. You don't know Dr. Frankenstein.
Well, they've already messed it up because it's not actually Frankenstein who meets the Wolfman. It's Frankenstein's monster who meets the Wolfman.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, they don't do that in this movie. They just call the monster Frankenstein.
Have either of you read the book?
Yes, I love the book.
Yeah, I read it when I was in high school.
Same.
I've read it several times. It's amazing. There's a reason. There's a good reason why it's the first science fiction book ever written.
Oh yeah, and Mary Shelley did it on a Mary Shelley did it on a dare.
Well, it wasn't a dare; it was a challenge. She and Byron and Shelley and Lord Polidori, they had they were reined in at Byron's place. They were all kind of sick of just screwing and having group sex, and so they came up with this challenge to see who could write the scariest story.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote a story called Varney the Vampire, which was possibly one of the first real vampire stories that was written. And she wrote Frankenstein.
Mm.
And she clearly won.
Obviously, because it's the one we know.
Yeah. Let's all stop having sex and go write its stories.
Yeah.
You know, in most other werewolf stories, it's very painful to turn into a wolf.
Well,
he just kind of stands there.
that was a more modern thing.
Mm-hmm. That started with American Werewolf in London.
Yeah. That's the reason why Rick Baker won an Oscar for that movie.
Right. And it took him 2 days to film that?
It was really fast. It was like 1 or 2 takes for all of it, because like the machinery wouldn't work more than once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a documentary about it not too long ago, and it was remarkable how quickly they put that transformation scene together.
Yeah, and the hair, the way they got the hair to look like it was coming out, was actually just filmed it in reverse.
Yeah, they filmed it in reverse. Yeah, it was
fascinating.
And it's a great movie. I still love that movie.
Oh yeah.
Could it be the monster again?
This guy totally looks like a Nazi.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You said this is from 1943, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They could have got
the end of World War II.
They could have got that uniform from another movie set.
Yeah.
Because I suspect he's actually supposed to be a cop, but
yeah.
Totally looks like a Nazi.
He's a constable.
Almost an SS uniform, that's for sure.
I mean, his facial expression. It's great stuff.
Yeah. I love how the actor's so totally committed to these parts.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was phoning it in.
Nope.
Yeah, people assume some of these later monster sequels, Universal monster sequels, are just bad movies. This is not a bad movie.
No,
so far.
It's not. That's why, Creature from the Black Lagoon is one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you watch it, didn't we do that one too?
Which one? Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still scary as hell.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the, I think he's going to meet the monster now.
Yeah.
there's a lot of shots in Creature from the Black Lagoon that are reminiscent, if that's not really the right word, but like, Steven Spielberg used a lot of similar techniques in Jaws to make it scary.
Mm-hmm. And actually, the actor who was the creature is still alive.
Yeah. And he was just a kid. He was like a teenager when he did the movie.
Yeah.
And he was able to hold his breath a long time. That's how he got the role.
I think he could hold his breath for like 5 or 6 minutes or something like
crazy,
that.
Yeah.
Fuck you, copper.
Inner. Or was the other one she said lizard? She turned him into a lizard, and he got all those scales all over him. Have you guys ever seen the movie of I know there's a book, but the movie Thinner?
No, no, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
See, and suddenly he has his shoes back on. Like, what?
So is this crystalline stuff supposed to be why the monster survived? Is that what they're going to say?
It looks like snow to me.
That's snow, yeah.
How would it snow underground?
Well, there was a hole.
He fell
through the hole.
Well, I mean, there's a tree there, so
Wolfman go down the hole.
Now, I can't say I particularly like the music.
It's supposed to be suspenseful.
Bling, bling, bling. Little too much on the marimba there. Okay, it is snow. He like fell underground and now he's in a.
He looks like something. No, it's probably an old train or mine.
I think
he's like a mine.
I think he's at the castle, isn't he?
I don't know. We were jabbering too much. Didn't hear what's going on.
Well, there's no dialogue.
Well, earlier there was when they were establishing stuff.
Well, let's check out this wall that totally doesn't look okay.
Well, okay.
Yeah, there he is. They love freezing things in ice for sequels.
Yep, of course he's going to get him out because that's what you do.
It's like one of my favorite Bruce Lee Dracula movies starts off with a girl running across a frozen lake and she falls and hits her head and her blood seeps through the ice and wakes Dracula up.
Bela Lugosi, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I was looking through his IMDb. He was most famous for Dracula, but he only played Dracula like twice, maybe 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. It wasn't like I always thought it was like he was always Dracula. He was
also Dracula in the original play. That's how they cast him in the movie.
Yeah.
And also, it was not
originated the role.
It was not his idea to be buried in the cape. Everybody always thought that. There's a rumor that he requested that he be buried in his cape. That was his family's decision after he died.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, just drag him on out. There you go.
This scene is riveting.
And he had to wear platform
walking
shoes because Bela Lugosi was not that tall.
Okay, so this is the movie that establishes the whole thing. The Frankenstein's monster walks around with his arms stretched out in front of him.
Yeah.
Because they established in the last movie he's blind now. So,
all right.
But they don't. But they left that out. When they cut out the dialogue and everything, they cut out any reference to him being blind. So, but he's still walking around with his arms stretched out in front of him like he's blind.
That's why. Oh, I see it now because he's touching stuff.
Yeah.
And his head is a lot more angular than the Karloff.
Yeah.
He still got the bolts in his neck and everything.
This is where I keep my stash.
Yeah, I Lugosi's iconic, but he was not a very good actor.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that he's blind, I can totally see it.
Yeah, that it makes total sense now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they just decided to not mention it. They cut it out. Because if you don't know that, it just looks ridiculous. He's walking around with his hands stretched out like that.
And he keeps touching everything. Well, he didn't even do that.
No, they cut all of his vocals out. They were afraid they were making a comedy because the test audience laughed.
Don't drink all that at once.
This is Dr. Frankenstein's daughter, I believe.
Who oddly has a more Slavic accent. I like his shirt, his coat. He's got a pretty nice looking coat. Baroness. Okay. Can we see love? I mean, she is quite attractive.
Definitely some inspiration from Madeline Kahn's character in Young Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah. Hence why she also had a Slavic accent.
Most unusual way. No.
I like her scarf.
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like it would keep her warm, though.
No, it's
just for
fashion.
looks. Yeah.
Had to be
That's like my
head.
grandmother used to knit these Afghans, but she would always leave the threading was so spaced out that it was absolutely no good at keeping you warm.
It was meant to be a throw, as I call them now.
Yeah, it was just decorative.
Sorry for interrupting.
It's another thick ass door.
The heck is that on the table? A brandy sniffer?
You put your back right on the camera.
Suddenly party.
Yeah, they're having a festival of some kind.
And I'm sorry, if that barrel was full, two guys could not move it.
It's Oktoberfest. Taylor, not Talbot.
Dun dun dun. I'd be pleased to meet you. Marion.
And a musical number.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sacha Baron Cohen. I mean, sorry.
Gotta fit a musical number into any movie in the 40s. It's like Bollywood.
Hey, dang it, don't knock Bollywood.
It's that same like Disney-esque harmony chorus.
Yeah, from the early times. That's a lot of flowers. You notice that?
Yeah. This must be some kind of like a harvest festival or something.
It might be.
He said it's the New Wine Festival.
Which kind of is a harvest festival.
I wonder if he was like somebody at the time.
Probably.
So it was like stunt casting.
Obviously, he's a very good bass singer.
This reminds me of that La 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 dude from the
Oh
internet.
gosh, yeah. Which, if you watch the video, you can totally tell he's lip syncing.
Well, yeah.
He's like, "Can we have some privacy, please?" That's a lot of pearls. Oh.
Yep. She's dressed to the nines.
I want to be alone with her.
You're causing a scene.
But the well-dressed guy with the fedora is just totally suspicious.
Isn't that the doctor from the
Yeah.
the village they found him in? Yeah.
Yep. Trying to get laid, dude. Stop. The doctor showed up and he's totally cock blocking.
Yes, this is. We have to mention that you've been killing people, even though we haven't been showing it. Because what horror movie doesn't show the kills?
Oh gosh, those are even longer. Those pearls, my gosh.
What?
The pearls she's wearing are just wow.
Oh, okay. I was just noticing the they stood up when she did, which is,
Was very
one of those
gentlemanly.
genteel things that has
Mhm.
faded away from
Yeah.
society.
Movie arguments are funny. I'll talk a little and then you talk some, and now I'll talk and then you talk.
And we'll talk straight at 90-degree angles at each other.
And we're 6 inches away from each other. It looks like we might kiss.
Am I supposed to be in this scene?
Mind your own business. Go away, William Howard Taft.
You could also say Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah. Isn't there somebody? Why is she holding one arm?
Meisterburger.
I just wonder why she was dancing with one arm straight down to her side like that.
No idea.
Well, it can't be the Wolfman. Nope.
We have to shoot him from below because he's only 5 feet tall.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I invited him.
He's with me.
I hate this table.
But this reminds me of the scene at the end of Transylvania 65000, because they all show up at the festival.
That one I haven't seen.
Oh.
Is that the one with Gina Davis?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was her first big role too.
Have you guys ever seen the Monster Squad?
Yes, I love that movie.
Yeah, I remember watching
Wolfman's got nerds.
Yeah.
I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of playing off of the Universal monsters without them.
Let's steal this cart full of wine at the wine festival. Nobody will mind.
I'll hold it down. We'll be fine. Oh, no.
They're all empty. Oh my God! Now I just realized who Young Frankenstein was spoofing was this guy with the Constable Klimper or whatever his name was.
Yes. Oh. Who also sounded and looked like a Nazi. Yeah. In fact, he accidentally kept doing the. Oh, sorry.
No, that was salute. That was Strangelove, Dr. Strangelove.
Oh,
no, he had like a fake arm and he had to keep moving it around.
Yeah.
And that guy that played the mayor plays a different character in a Frankenstein movie that came out like a year after this.
Huh.
Mayor's office without an apostrophe.
Yeah, well. But if you get a chance, do see Transylvania 65000. It has a lot of people in it that became more famous later in it.
And wow, yeah, that's a lot of pearls.
Yeah. But it's also a horror spoof movie to a degree. Yeah.
She really doesn't know anything because you got her locked up in the prison.
Do you hear?
Right now.
Yeah, see?
And I'm pretty sure that's an actual fur coat that she's wearing.
Oh, yeah. Is she somebody?
Probably.
Oh.
Look it up, man.
Everybody is something. I'll look it up.
My computer can't handle video and internet at the same time.
Ilona Massey was her name. And she's known for Invisible Agent, International Lady. Hold on. She had a TV series called The Ilona Massey Show in 1954.
So she was a big name back then. So
Yes, use our brains. Always good.
we can't burn them down again.
Didn't work the first time. But you failed the first time.
We'll have to take out its batteries, man.
Like that's gonna work. Oh wait, throw a stick. It'll be better.
Milk bone for you. Here, Larry. Good boy, Larry. Don't run. We are your friends.
Come with us if you want to leave.
Oh, now it's my son.
Well, she said that before.
Oh, she adopted him.
And this is her fourth outfit?
Yeah. I think she just put a coat on.
No, she's wearing a completely new.
Yeah.
What's he looking at? He's blind. He can't see.
Pick up that stick pretty good.
Do something. Or pick up a stick. Yeah, that'll
look
work.
busy. Look busy.
You can hear them still.
Monster have stick.
Did you put on your deodorant today? Good boy. Good boy.
Speaking of sticks.
Here's the fish. He was my boyfriend.
That's right. Turns right towards him, even though he can't see him.
I don't think we can make him well. He's kind of dead.
Right?
Get the back team, nurse.
Bring me the jumper cables.
And she's like, yeah, I've seen it all before.
That is a huge brooch she's wearing. Wow. She just puts it all out there as far as jewelry.
You didn't look at the right place.
Dad always kept the good weed back here. Oh, it's not the Necromicon. Necromicon. Or what Necromicon.
Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Klata Baratu.
Unless
We must turn the page to find out.
That's what they said in Young Frankenstein.
that was
Change the
yeah.
from plus to minus to minus to plus.
It Good work.
Gene Wilder must have like binged this film so many times.
Well, the thing is, Wilder wrote it and he showed the script to Brooks, and then Brooks made him plead his case for like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooks was on board from the first minute, but he wanted to make sure Wilder was totally committed to it. And actually, in Young Frankenstein, they found a lot of the original equipment from this movie.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have a huge swastika.
Oh, Lindsay.
Oh, sweet mystery of life, I found you. Oh, the late great Madeline Kahn.
They certainly weren't afraid of moving slowly back then.
Yeah. No, do it again slower.
Must be more dramatic.
We can get spare parts at the Spirit Halloween store.
The Syria.
And look, he never moves his right arm. That must be where Brooks got that from.
Might have been. No.
Never mind.
They've totally ruined it. But he puts it in his belt a lot, that's for sure.
Wasn't that he wasn't in The Invisible Man, was he? Or was it was just like a similar situation where they all hung out in this bar?
Yeah.
And the Invisible Man snuck in there and just messed with everybody.
Yeah.
Why is there a tribble on his hat?
That's on his hat, man. German hats had these. Yeah. Yeah, German hats had this thing where it would have a feather or a fluffy fur thing like that.
I know what I ought to do is get out of my pajamas and get into some real clothes.
I have SpaghettiOs on my shirt.
What are those on his shirt?
I don't know. They look like SpaghettiOs to me.
Because, of course, only one house would be affected by blowing up the dam.
Well, it's on a hill, it's always on this like hill way ahead, far away from town. You didn't even drink all your wine. What the heck, dude?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the constable's sitting right beside you. And
He just definitely drinking his. So
I say let's all have a drink and then go for a walk.
And I'm going to blow up the dam. You'll take a firecracker because
Yeah.
tiny. God, that's awful.
yeah, you can totally tell it's a miniature.
Yeah. That's
They
the
made
thing.
fun of that.
Water doesn't scale.
Have you guys seen that movie Downsizing with Matt Damon?
No.
They made fun of that because there was this big scene, and it's towards the end of the movie where they're supposed to blow the opening of a cave. They're supposed to blow it out so that it collapses and everything. And they're all standing back watching it, and the music gets big and everything, but the people are small.
Yeah.
So when it blows, it just kind of goes pop, and then there's like a little fire and it falls over.
Oh jeez.
Well, it's like with the Jerry Anderson stuff with Thunderbirds and stuff like that. They used oil instead of water because then you could get small ripples on it that would you have to slow it down. But
Yeah.
She's pretty.
He said, "Please don't bother me now. I have work to do."
That plug isn't grounded. What on earth are you doing, man?
Everyone knows you can't have a laboratory without a Jacob's ladder.
That's right. I was like, where is it?
Oh God, I had to build one of those for a show one time.
Yeah.
They are dangerous as hell. I almost killed myself with it.
Yeah.
I zapped myself more than once with it.
It's just open current.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's like thousands of volts, but like no amps, and but it's still it could mess you up big time. These weren't just repaired; they're brand new.
Yeah. It's amazing what a little spit shine will do.
Oh, but we got a weird spinny thing that covers it.
Yeah,
kind of.
That helps. But you have to have an electric current. There you go.
That's not dangerous at all. Because if you're watching this, folks, that shit's real. They didn't have that kind of special effect back then.
No, yeah. It's
That's a Tesla coil, and that will fuck you up.
Yeah. Yes, it will.
What is this accent I created? I don't know, but it sounds good.
Because the original Dr. Frankenstein in the first movie did not have that kind of accent.
My accent continuously changes throughout the movie. And I'll put it into myself.
Which they kind of did this in Van Helsing. Just the other way.
Wait, he doesn't have bolts in his neck. What are you connecting it to?
His ears.
So what exactly is the idea? They're going to take all the energy off of the monster and put it in the Talbot?
I don't know. This movie stopped making sense half an hour ago.
See? There you go. It's all explained now.
Keep your hands off my minus. It's wrong. But I'll sure as hell fuck up Talbot.
Oh, yeah, they just plugged it right into his neck right there. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got bolts now. What the heck? Where did those come from?
Home Depot? I don't know.
Yeah. There's a storage locker. He keeps all the spare parts.
All right, now for an uplifting situation.
Elevate me. Right here, doctor?
Right.
Hey, there's not even a thunderstorm happening.
He's got a collar. Huh? Have you seen any of the videos of there's a couple of different performance arts groups that use Tesla coils and play music with them.
Yeah,
there's the Jacob's ladder.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have one.
And a 1 and a 2. Okay.
Dude, that's a good way to kill your actor. Jesus.
Oh, he does have a collar on. Okay.
Yeah. It should have a dog tag on it.
Oh.
Smoking.
Don't look.
What are you doing?
Twitch.
Well, she had enough time to do a whole new hairstyle.
Mm-hmm. No, we're not drunk.
There's just strobe lights. They're having a party up there. It's a rave. That's it.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing, Doctor?
We haven't had a good blood curdling scream in a while.
Hold on, I have to turn on yet another switch.
Like, wow, that hurts.
And it stinks too.
That is very, very painful.
Megavolts. Nice
Turn it to
nostrils, dude.
mellow. Okay. You're doing it wrong.
His name is Frank. Are you kidding me? I can see you. Now it's time for her to get electrocuted to death.
And that was all practical too, by the way.
Knock the Jacob's ladder out.
And of course, he's going to blow himself up with the dam. Is that the goddamn?
No. Okay. Now it's gonna
That's
get
perfect time.
Oh, damn it.
Now it's gonna get
I'm
complicated.
Well, now we have a scream.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we have a Wolfman too.
I smell danger.
And she could like run, but no. She's just gonna stand there.
She's cornered.
And you know
now,
what?
There we go. Now she's kind of running. Okay, you can do a little bit better than that, babe. And she just okay.
And of course, he's got to carry her around for a bit.
No, she belongs to me.
Tag, you're it.
No, that's not a stunt man. That's
Yeah. Well, that moved easily.
oh man, like this is like the Universal monster movie version of Sunshine or Event Horizon. Like the first 2/3 of this movie are really good, and then it gets stupid as hell at the end.
Well, it's hard to make two monsters fight and make it look good when it's just guys in costumes.
Well, it's not so much that, it's just the story got lame.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not expecting, great special effects from this, but it just got ludicrous because all they wanted was to, when I'm watching Godzilla versus Megalon, I don't care about the story. But this was a really good movie up until like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Is the water going to take them both out? Is that that looks like a TV monitor.
What?
That looked like a TV monitor.
No, it's called a Linebach projector. It's an old lighting instrument. I don't know why it was in the lab because it's a stage light.
we need something right here. Just put one of our lights right there. Nobody will notice.
Yeah. Well,
just
there were
show
two
it
of
from
them
the
in
back.
there. Fortunately, we managed to get half a mile away.
And Lord, the structure on that castle was very weak.
Although that's not a bad miniature for the collapse. That was pretty impressive. This part.
And that's it. That's over.
That's the end of the movie.
Until next time.
Yeah, because Frankenstein comes back. I'm not sure if they made another Wolfman movie after this, but well, I know Wolfman.
They made a lot more, but I don't know if it was.
I know they had Wolfman came back in the Abbott and Costello thing, but I don't think that's considered in universe.
Probably not.
Well, I think in universe is giving it way more credit than it deserves.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Wolfman and Frankenstein movies after this one. And there wasn't as, I mean, I give this movie a lot of credit for, backloading, establishing it as a sequel and saying this happened before. I don't think they're as considerate going forward. Because Hollywood was Hollywood, no matter what era it was. Once they realized people would spend money to come see these movies, they just started cranking them out.
Yeah.
And they stopped. The quality. How many horror franchises now are up to like 13, 14 movies, and they stopped being any good after 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the next, after this movie came out, over the next several years, there's like one coming out like every year, like. Mm-hmm. They just consistently, they stop filming one and the next one comes out. Let's see. I'm
sure Lon Chaney was like, I'm done with this, but and Bela Lugosi was, sadly his cachet faded very quickly, and so he started taking any job he could get.
That's how I got into playing Knife from Outer Space.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I was gonna look and see what Lon Chaney did
movie.
after this movie. Let me pull his IMDb up and go back to 43.
I think Chaney, did pretty well because
he worked for a while. Yeah, he was doing stuff all the way up into the 70s.
Yep.
But Lugosi did not have a good end. It was a very sad story.
Well, unfortunately, he was a very niche actor.
Yeah.
He came out with Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and then the same year he came out with Son of Dracula, where he played Dracula. And then he started making a lot of mummy movies. He made The Mummy's Ghost in 44. Made House of Frankenstein in 44. He was okay. House of Frankenstein, he plays Larry Talbot. So that's another, I guess that's the rematch of Frankenstein and the Wolfman. So maybe next Halloween we'll watch that one.
Now, have any of y'all seen the Boris Karloff, The Mummy, the original?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. No.
It's so good. It is such a good movie because a lot of these the Universal monster movies, the monster is the thing, but if you watch The Mummy, he's only the mummy when they first find him.
Yep.
After that, he's Imhotep for the rest of the movie. And it's a really good movie. Karloff was an amazing actor.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we think people think of him now as Frankenstein and and the mummy as the mummy with the makeup and the bandages and all that stuff, but he was really good and put up with a lot. That poor dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, anything for his craft. Okay. All right. Well, patrons, I thank you very much for everything you do for us month after month, helping us pay for Zoom and helping us buy equipment like this webcam that I had to buy last week. And that's it for our Halloween episode. We'll come back next month, and I don't know what we're gonna do for November. I know we'll be doing something for December. We'll do something Christmassy. Holidays.
Well, are there any Thanksgiving movies?
We
did a show a while back where I named a list of movies that are considered, they're just movies that take place at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Because Thanksgiving's really the only Western thing in November, isn't it?
Well, Canada and United States are the only ones who celebrate it, as far as I know.
Well, yeah, but theirs is different from ours. I think they already had theirs this year.
Yeah.
They just had it this Monday. This Monday.
Belated happy Thanksgiving, Canada.
Yeah. And happy Halloween. I hope you all have a safe Halloween. Get lots of candy.
Candy rules. And remember, folks, No one is going to give your kids their edibles. They're too expensive. Get over that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And nobody's putting razor blades in your candy.
No, that has never happened.
It happened there. It happened one time, but it was a person that was trying to kill their own kid. They put razor blades in their own kid's candy. It wasn't like they were handing it out.
Besides, what kid eats a goddamn apple that they're given on Halloween?
Yeah.
They don't.
That shit goes right in the trash.
I remember
right
we
up
went
there with a toothbrush.
We went trick-or-treating one year, and where I lived, we didn't have a lot of neighborhoods that had all the houses like right next to each other. So when we went trick-or-treating, my mom would drive us somewhere where there were 2 or 3 houses. Then we would get in the car and we'd go somewhere else, And she took us to this lady's house that was somebody that she knew from church. And it was me, it was my brother, and my little cousin. We get out of the car and we go up to the house, and we knew the lady. She didn't have any candy. She wasn't prepared for anybody to come. She didn't think anybody was going to come that far out. So, well, here, I have some apples. So we were just being nice. We held out our bag. She put an apple in mine, my brother. She went to put one in my little cousin's bag and said, "No, I can't have an apple. You might put a razor blade in it."
Oh, wow.
She's trying to kill me.
Well, I remember, I spent my first 12 years up in New England in Connecticut, and it used to drive me crazy because we'd, work really hard when we didn't go to the store and buy those really crappy Halloween costumes, that we've talked about all the time with it would, like, I remember I had a Superman costume, and it was just a little red mask and the plastic suit that you put on that had a picture of Superman.
Yeah.
But you once you got older, when I was like 10, 11, 12, I'd work really hard on a Halloween costume, and then it would be like 40 degrees Halloween night. So you'd have to put a coat on over it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, my grandson's dressing as Blippi for Halloween this year.
Okay,
and
you have said this many times. Who the fuck is Blippi?
It's a guy that started a YouTube channel where he's this little guy, not a little guy, but he's a guy that does he just like shows kids like, this is what the farm looks like. Hold on a second. You know what? I'll pull one up so you can see it.
Okay. I've never heard of Blippi until you mentioned it.
I mean, it's not any, I don't think it's anything that Sharon's going to be interested in because it's for little kids.
Yeah.
But let's see.
No, she's all about Minecraft and Pokemon now.
Oh no, not Pokemon.
Actually, this year she decided she didn't even want to do anything new for her costume. She's got like a fox costume and the unicorn costume that she's got for her dress up stuff that she wants to wear them together. Cobra Woman. All right. That's
Weird Woman. That's
my
even better.
IMDb list. Let's see.
But when I went trick or treating, we had this one house where the family that lived there, they always, every time you went to the door, the mom would wear like a really creepy costume and would have like really creepy music on. So she did it intentionally to scare her. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But I can see that as a costume.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's an
ad.
Let me get through this advertisement.
Should we be hearing anything? No, I guess not. Blippi. Okay. No, he's not creepy.
He's very orange.
Okay, so that's Blippi?
Yeah, apparently.
All right. He just goes to, a lot of his videos are like he goes to like these indoor play places and he just plays and he shows the kids, hey, look what this does. This spins around, that kind of stuff. And Jacob loves him. So he's dressing as him, but my wife, she has this Cricut maker. It makes laminate stuff to put on shirts and things like that. And she bought a fleece jacket and she put the Blippi emblem on the front of it so that if it's cold, he can wear that, and he's still got the blippy hat and the glasses on.
Oh, okay.
So it'll still look like he's in costume, even if he has to wear a jacket.
That's cool.
My solution is just put some sweatpants and a sweatshirt under his costume, but then he'll just look like a fat little blippy.
Favorite candy to get at Halloween?
Did you say favorite Kennedy?
Favorite candy to get at Halloween? Yes, I did not enunciate that very well, I admit.
I mean, chocolate, anything chocolate. I was all about it.
But what kind? I mean, everybody had, when you look in your bag and you're like, yay or damn.
Reese's Cups, Kit Kats, and just plain Hershey's, the little chocolate bars. I'm fine with any of those. Just
okay.
Jen?
Smarties. I'm still addicted to those things.
Yeah, okay.
They taste like chalk, but I don't care.
and I was the same. Reese's and just the plain Hershey's. All right. What were the ones that went immediately in the trash or in your brother's bag?
Anything with coconut in it.
Yeah, jelly beans. I hate jelly beans, especially the black ones.
Oh, the licorice taste.
Yeah. Anything that's any kind of licorice that's not like red Twizzlers or I like Twizzlers and things like that, but any kind of like licorice flavor, I don't like that.
Yeah,
and the little
like root beer,
beer barrels, I didn't like them either.
I couldn't. Anything that came wrapped in wax paper,
really,
always awful. I don't know if you guys. I don't know. Maybe they were gone by the time y'all were trick-or-treating, but they were like these. It was like a little cylinder of something, and it was wrapped in red or black or orange wax paper, and it was just a little nugget of hell. Horrible.
Was it the peanut butter flavored things?
I don't even remember. I think I only ate one once and went, "This is terrible," and never ate one again.
Yeah, there's some like peanut butter flavored chewy candies that come wrapped in orange or black wax paper, and they're okay. I'm not gonna eat them I don't want a whole bowl of them, but
yeah, the only wax candy I remember was either the wax lips that you could wear. Those were awful.
No, anything wax was terrible.
Yeah,
you get that orange harmonica thing.
Never had that. No.
It was like kind of a weird triangle or trapezoid kind of thing, and you could blow into it and make noise. And then to be the wax lips. And I remember one year I asked my mom, "What are these for?" And she's like, "You're supposed to chew them." And I tried.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah, and then there's the little ones that look like soda bottles that were wax that you chewed on.
They had colored water, sugar water inside.
They had, and I remember I was editing today. I was editing the show where we talked about candy, and I mentioned on there. I think you said something about Nico wafers. And I said that Nico wafers were like Smarties, but I was thinking of something else. And when I was editing, I remembered what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Spree.
Yeah.
Spree wafers are basically blackboard chalk with food coloring.
Yeah. I was thinking of Spree, and they're like a big sweet
real
tart.
Big. Yeah.
I spent years as a kid trying to convince myself that I liked sour candy. And I finally got old enough to realize, no, I am not. You know what? It's funny. I'm not big into candy. The only candy I really like is chocolate.
Which there's a lot of that.
Yeah. I love chocolate. That's why I stay away from it.
Yeah. I'm not big on hard candy at all. I mean, I just because my wife likes those cinnamon balls. Like with Red Hots or something like that, or just she likes
those. Rot your teeth so bad because you suck on them.
I've never been good at sucking candy because I'll like suck on it for a little while and then I bite it. I'm like Mr. Owl.
Well, we used to get these dipping sticks, and you know why they're so good, because it's just a stick and you just dip it in straight sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just dipping it in sugar and licking it.
Same with pixie sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, no wonder you like it so much. It's just plain sugar,
right?
Flavored sugar. All right, patrons, once again, thank you. And we'll be back next month. I'm going to release this as the video version where you can see us, but there'll also be just a podcast version that you can just listen to on your, put one earbud in and watch the movie on. Like I said, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is available right now. It's available for free on Peacock. It might have commercials in it. So if a commercial pops up, you might have to pause your player until the commercial goes off or something like that. But other than that, you can rent the movie for a couple bucks on YouTube, I think.
The dialogue's not that good. We're better.
Yeah.